She won't tell you this, but the moment she sees you, she's already decided your place in her life. Not consciously, not logically, but biologically. And here's the part most men never realize. By the time you open your mouth, you've already either won or lost. David Buss ran an experiment that didn't test charm, confidence, or clever lines. It exposed something far more uncomfortable, a hidden system, a silent evaluation happening inside every woman's mind, where men aren't judged, they're ranked, compared, priced, filtered, an internal auction where you're measured against every man she's ever known and every man she believes she could still meet. Now ask yourself this. If that auction is real, and it is, what exactly is she evaluating? Because most men think attraction is something you build, something you prove over time. But Buss discovered the opposite. Attraction isn't negotiated, it's triggered. What his decades of research at the University of Texas revealed wasn't romantic, it wasn't flattering, it was mechanical, cold, precise. A biological system running beneath awareness, where she doesn't even realize what's influencing her decisions, but her body does. And this is where it becomes dangerous for the average man, because the men who succeed in this system aren't trying harder. They're not impressing her. They're not earning attraction. They're activating something. A sequence of psychological switches, hardwired, predictable, and completely invisible to the untrained eye. Switches Buss spent over 20 years mapping across cultures, patterns, and behaviors. And once you understand them, you stop chasing attention. You start controlling perception. In the next few minutes, you're going to see exactly what those switches are. Not the watered-down version you hear in dating advice, but the real mechanism, the hidden architecture of attraction that explains why the men who try the most get ignored the fastest. Why some men say almost nothing yet pull women in effortlessly. And why everything you've been told about attraction has kept you trapped competing in a game that was never designed for you to win. There's something Buss uncovered that most dating coaches conveniently avoid. Not because it's complex, but because it hits straight at a man's ego. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. He called it mate copying. Sounds harmless. It's not. Let me put it in a way you've probably already lived but never fully understood. You've seen it before. A guy, average at best, nothing special, not taller than you, not sharper than you, not more intelligent than you. But somehow, he's with a woman you know you'd struggle to even get a reply from. And the moment you see him with her, something shifts. You start questioning yourself. What does he have that I don't? Here's the uncomfortable answer. Nothing. Except proof. Bush ran controlled studies where women were shown the exact same man, same face, same expression, same everything. The only difference? In one photo, he was alone. In the other, he was standing next to an attractive woman. That's it. And suddenly, his perceived attractiveness didn't just increase, it jumped. Not slightly, noticeably. Let that sink in. Nothing about the man changed. Only the signal around him did. Which means this game was never about what you are. It's about what you're perceived to be. And perception, in her world, is built socially, not logically. Now here's where it gets brutal. Your value in her eyes is not determined by your looks, your intentions, or even your personality at first. It's determined by a silent question her brain is constantly asking. Have other women already validated this man? Because if they have, he's pre-approved. If they haven't, he's a risk. And women don't gamble on uncertainty when it comes to attraction. This is why you've seen it happen. The guy who was invisible for years suddenly gets into a relationship, and out of nowhere other women start noticing him, smiling more, engaging more, almost like he became a different man overnight. He didn't. The signal changed. Now compare that to the other side. The guy who's constantly trying, initiating, chasing, proving, over-explaining. You can feel it, can't you? That subtle tension in his behavior, like every interaction carries weight, like he needs something from her. And that's exactly what she picks up on, not consciously, but instinctively, no proof, no validation, no demand. So her brain fills in the gap with one conclusion: if no other woman wants him, why should I? That's the part no one says out loud. Now here's where most men get it wrong. They think the solution is to go out and collect women like trophies, to manufacture proof. But that's not the real game. You don't need women chasing you. You need to feel like a man who could be chased. And that's a completely different energy. It shows up in the smallest details. The way you stand when no one's watching. The way you respond or don't respond when she tests your attention. The pace of your movements. The calmness in your presence. I remember watching a guy once in a crowded room. No loud behavior. No peacocking. No trying. But everything about him said one thing: I'm not here to be chosen. And women noticed. Not because he approached them, but because he didn't need to. That's the signal. Because her brain isn't asking, does he have a girlfriend? It's asking, would other women want him if they had the chance? And that question gets answered before you ever speak. In micro movements, in restraint, in how easily you give or withhold your attention. Now let's go deeper, because Boost didn't stop there. He uncovered another mechanism that explains why most men destroy their own chances without even realizing it. He called it the investment ratio. And once you understand this, you start seeing your past mistakes with painful clarity. Every interaction between you and a woman has an invisible scoreboard. You just don't see it, but she feels it. Who's investing more? Who's trying harder? Who's carrying the conversation? Who's leaning in before anything has been earned? And here's the problem. The moment you overinvest too early, you collapse your own value. Because from her perspective, there are only two explanations. Either you don't have options, or you don't value yourself enough to protect your time and attention. And both lead to the same conclusion: low value. That's why you've experienced it. You send that well-thought-out message and get a dry reply. You plan something thoughtful too early and feel her energy pull back. You give genuine compliments and somehow they land flat. It's not that she didn't understand you, it's that you revealed your position too soon. You showed her you were already sold before she had to earn anything. And that kills the tension. So no. The answer isn't to pretend you don't care. That fake indifference. It leaks. She sees through it instantly. The real shift is deeper than that. It's when your life actually demands your attention. When you're building something, sharpening something, becoming something. And because of that, you don't have unlimited energy to hand out. Not to someone who hasn't proven they deserve access to it. Not because you're playing a game, but because your focus is already occupied by something bigger than her. And that is where everything starts to change. This is what Bus called implicit resource signaling. But forget the label for a second. Let's make this real. You're not telling her you're valuable. You're showing her every time you decide where your attention goes. And here's the part most men don't want to hear. Your attention is the most honest thing about you. Not your words, not your intentions, your attention. Because you can fake confidence for a few minutes, but you can't fake where your focus naturally collapses under pressure. Think about it. You see her name pop up on your phone, and suddenly everything else pauses. You reply instantly. You adjust your tone. You start thinking 2 steps ahead. You're no longer grounded. You're reacting, and she feels that shift, not consciously, but her instincts register it immediately. This man is available. This man is waiting. This man is already leaning in. And the moment she feels that, the dynamic tilts. Now compare that to a different man. He sees the same notification. He reads it. And then he goes back to what he was doing. Not to play games, not to delay for effect, but because his life actually has weight, because his time is already occupied by something that matters. He replies when he's ready, not when she pulls him. That difference is everything. Because time has cost, and cost creates value. You don't assign value by what you say. You assign it by what you withhold. Now here's where it gets even more precise. Because Bus uncovered another mechanism that quietly controls everything underneath this: mate value calibration. Every woman walks into a room already measuring, not just, is he attractive, but is he attractive compared to me? And most men completely sabotage themselves right here. They feel that gap, and instead of rising, they try to pull her down. You've seen it. The subtle digs, the jokes that carry a little sting, the backhanded compliments designed to shake her just enough. And for a second, it feels like it works. She reacts, she engages, but underneath that, something else activates. Because she's not stupid. Her instincts are ancient, refined over thousands of generations. And the moment she senses you're trying to destabilize her, she doesn't feel attraction, she feels danger. And once a woman feels psychologically unsafe, you're done. Not immediately, but inevitably. Now here's the shift most men never make. You don't lower her value, you raise the price of access to yours. Read that again, because this is where the entire game flips. The man who tries to bring her down is operating from quiet desperation. He needs her to shrink so he can feel enough. But the man who operates from standards doesn't need to touch her frame at all. He's not focused on impressing her. He's focused on what he allows into his world, what he tolerates, what he rejects, instantly, cleanly, without emotional leakage. I once watched this play out in real time. A woman, easily the most attractive in the room, used to men bending around her, testing, pushing, playing with attention. And there was one guy who didn't react. Not cold, not rude, just unmoved. She interrupted him, he didn't reward it. She teased him, he didn't chase it. She pulled back, he didn't follow. And you could see it happen. Slowly, subtly, her energy shifted from control to curiosity, from certainty to investment. Because for the first time in that room, she wasn't sure where she stood, and that uncertainty pulled her in. That's the inversion. That's where everything changes. She stops asking, is he good enough for me? And starts asking, why doesn't he need me? And once that question lives in her mind, you're no longer chasing attraction. You're holding it. Now let's go even darker. Because Booth identified something that most men experience, but never understand. The pursuit paradox. And if you've ever felt like the more you try, the worse it gets, this is why. The act of chasing triggers her resistance, not because she doesn't like you, but because of what your behavior reveals. When you pursue too hard, too fast, too eagerly, you're exposing something. You're showing her that your desire is ahead of your discipline, that you've already decided before she's earned anything. And that's dangerous, not to you, to her instincts. Because a man who can't control his desire can't control himself. And a man who can't control himself can't lead, can't protect, can't be trusted under pressure. So what does she do? She tests. Not because she's cruel, because she needs to know. She pulls back to see if you collapse forward. She goes cold to see if you panic. She mentions another man to see if your composure cracks. Different masks, same question. Is this man ruled by his impulses, or is he in command of himself? And most men fail right there. They chase harder, they explain more, they try to fix what was never broken, and in doing that, they answer the question, yes, I'm controllable. But the man who doesn't react, the man who doesn't get pulled out of his center, the man who feels the tension and stays grounded anyway, answers differently. I'm not moved by pressure. I don't break under uncertainty. I don't need you to feel stable. And that is what hits something primal. Not because she wants chaos, but because she recognizes strength that doesn't depend on her. This is why the quietest man in the room, the least reactive, the one who isn't performing, often leaves with the most attention. Not because he said the right things, but because he never needed to. He didn't negotiate his value. He embodied it. And that's the part most men spend years trying to fake, without ever realizing it can't be faked. There's a principle Bus pulled out of his research that almost no one tells you straight, because if you really understand it, you can't go back to how you were living before. It's called scarcity architecture. And no, this isn't about playing hard to get. That's surface-level nonsense. That's the guy checking his phone, counting minutes, pretending he's busy while secretly hoping she texts again. Women read through that instantly. This is something else. This is when your life is built in a way where your attention is actually limited, not forced, not calculated, real. Let me ask you something honestly. If she disappeared for a week, would your life slow down, or would it keep moving exactly the same? Because that answer right there, that's your real value. Bus found a pattern across cultures that doesn't change. The men women chase the hardest are the men who don't have space to chase them back. Not because they're avoiding women, because they're already consumed by something bigger, a mission, a project, a direction that demands their energy. And here's the key most men miss. The scarcity isn't performed. It's built into the structure of their life. You can feel the difference instantly. One man delays a reply because he's trying to look busy. Another man replies later because he actually was busy. Same behavior, completely different signal. And her instincts know, because structure doesn't leak. Fake scarcity always does. Now look at how most men live. They build their entire lifestyle around access to women. They choose hobbies that look attractive. They say yes too quickly. They keep their schedule open just in case she reaches out. And without realizing it, they communicate something brutally honest. I have nothing more important than you. And that kills attraction faster than rejection ever could. Because now there's no challenge, no tension, no reason for her to invest. Now flip it. The man who doesn't chase isn't holding back. He's already moving forward. His life comes first. His mission comes first. His growth comes first. And she can be part of that. But she will never be the center of it. That's what Booz meant by non-negotiable value signaling. You're not telling her she's less important. You're showing her that your life has weight without her, that your direction exists, whether she's in it or not. And here's what that does to her psychologically. She stops feeling like the prize and starts feeling like she has to qualify. I've seen this shift happen in real time. A woman used to attention, constant validation, men rearranging themselves around her. Then she meets one man who doesn't bend. He's present, engaged, but unavailable in a deeper way. Not emotionally dependent, not seeking approval. And suddenly, she leans in, not because he chased, but because he didn't. Because for the first time, she feels like she's entering his world, not the other way around, and that's the hook. Now let's go into the part most men completely misunderstand, because this is where people get it twisted. Bus called it the dominance paradox, and if you get this wrong, you destroy everything we just built. Yes, women are attracted to dominant men. That's been proven across every culture, every study, every generation. But not the kind of dominance most men try to perform. Not loud, not aggressive, not the guy trying to control everything in the room. That's insecurity wearing a mask. And it's obvious. Real dominance is quieter than that. It's tighter, more controlled. It doesn't need to prove anything. Bus described it as something closer to social precision. The man who reads the room without effort, who knows when to speak, and when silence says more, who doesn't fight for position, because his presence already establishes it. You've felt this before, that one guy in a room, not the loudest, not the flashiest, but somehow everything orbits him. Other men become slightly tense around him. They don't know why, they just feel it. And women, they notice without understanding what they're noticing. He's not performing, He's not trying, he's just grounded, still, unmoved. And that stillness carries weight, because it signals something deeper. I don't need to control anything because I control myself. And that's the highest form of dominance there is. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't ask for attention. It reshapes the environment just by existing inside it. The women in Booth's studies didn't describe these men as alpha. They didn't say dominant in the way you'd expect. They said things like, "There's something about him. I can't read him. I don't know why, but I keep thinking about him." That's not attraction based on logic. That's psychological gravity. And once a man reaches that level, he's no longer chasing desire. He becomes the thing that creates it. Now here's where most men make their final mistake. They hear all of this, and their first instinct is to act it out, to perform it, to mimic the behaviors, to look dominant. And that's exactly why it fails, because dominance isn't something you put on. It's something that leaks out of you. Whether you like it or not, you don't perform it, you build it. Slowly, uncomfortably, internally. Until one day, it's just there, and people feel it before you even speak. That means developing something most men avoid their entire lives. A frame that doesn't collapse, not fake confidence, not the version of you that holds steady when things are easy, but the version that stays intact when she pulls away, when she tests you. When you feel that spike of uncertainty in your chest, and you don't move. You felt that before, that moment where you're about to double text, about to explain yourself, about to fix something that feels like it's slipping. That tension, that's where most men lose, because they react. And in reacting, they reveal everything. But the man who doesn't, the man who sits in that discomfort, who feels it fully, but doesn't let it control his behavior, that's the man she can't read. And what she can't read, she can't control. Now take this deeper. This isn't about pretending you don't care. It's about reaching a point where your sense of self is no longer tied to her response, where validation becomes irrelevant, not as a trick, but because you've built enough evidence in your own life that you don't need confirmation from someone who just met you, and that changes how you move, completely. Her tests stop feeling like threats. They become information. You start observing instead of reacting. You start deciding instead of hoping. Is she worth my time? Not, how do I keep her? That shift alone separates men completely. Because now you're not in her frame anymore. She's stepping into yours. And when you operate from that place, you don't need to convince anyone of anything. You don't need the perfect line. You don't need the right timing. Your presence does the work, quietly, consistently. Now understand this clearly. What Bus uncovered wasn't a strategy. It wasn't a cheat code. It was a mirror. Mate copying, investment ratios, value calibration, the pursuit paradox, scarcity, dominance, different angles, same truth. She's not choosing you based on what you say. She's choosing you based on what you reveal, about where you stand among other men. And here's the part that stings. You can't fake that position. You can posture for a moment. You can impress her briefly, but eventually it leaks. Always, because your habits, your reactions, your lifestyle, they tell the truth you're trying to hide. The men who move through this effortlessly aren't running game. They've become the kind of man this system naturally rewards. Their life creates real scarcity. Their standards create real filtering. Their presence creates real gravity. So attraction stops being something they chase and starts becoming something that follows them. Now let me leave you with something uncomfortable. Every woman you've ever wanted was running this evaluation on you. Every conversation, every look, every silence. The auction was happening, and you were bidding without even knowing the rules. Now you do. So the question isn't whether this works. It does. The question is what you're going to do with it. Are you going to take this and try to imitate it? Patch it onto your current life, Hope it holds long enough to get a result? Or are you going to do what most men avoid and actually rebuild yourself from the inside out? Because here's what Bus never said directly, but his work makes painfully clear. You can understand every trigger, every mechanism, every psychological switch, and still fail. If you haven't become the man those switches respond to, information doesn't change you, it exposes you. It shows you the gap between who you are and who you'd have to become. And the work, it's not complicated, it's just uncomfortable. Build a life that actually demands your attention, not distractions, not empty motion, something real. Develop standards you actually enforce, not in your head, in your actions. And build a frame that doesn't need approval to stand, not hers, not anyone's. Because when those things become real, you don't need techniques anymore. They fall away, and what's left is the answer to the question she's been asking all along. Now listen carefully, because this is where most men drop the ball. In the next video, I'm going to break down the one test she gives without even realizing she's giving it. The moment that decides whether she sees you as temporary or completely irreplaceable. And the dangerous part, almost every man fails it, not because he's weak, but because he doesn't even recognize it's happening. It looks small, harmless, almost insignificant, but it's the exact point where her perception of you locks in. If you think you understand the game now, wait until you see that. Make sure you don't miss it. Now, that's tomorrow. But for now, if you want to go deeper into this, watch the video appearing on your screen right now. Because that's where you'll start seeing how all of this plays out in real interactions, in real moments, where most men lose control without even noticing. Click it now, stay inside the frame, and if this shifted the way you see things, subscribe, like the video, and remember this: most men will never understand the game, but you do. I'll see you among the few.